Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, Sandra. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Richard. Hi, everyone.
I'm so pleased to be with you on this. We were talking just
Yeah.
backstage, having a bit of a
Yeah.
catch up, but I'm really pleased, Sandra, we can talk about what we've been up to and some
Yeah.
of the
It's brilliant.
exciting things.
Yes.
If you got, I could say, have you got a cuppa or something? Have you got a drink?
No, no,
I
I'm
just
fine.
rushed off to make a cup of tea, but you're all right.
Yeah.
So we're going to just be having a bit of a catch up tonight. We're not doing any real readings or anything like that at all. Just a catch up, friendly chat, however
Yeah.
long it is, and see kind of what we're doing. I suppose preparation for Christmas, winter, Yule, whatever you want to call it, and have a look at some
Mm.
decks. So it's nice and casual. So please feel free to ask us anything. I'm sure Sandra would be happy to answer anything in moderation, won't you?
Yes. Within reason.
Within reason. We've got lots of people here. So Robin was first one in. Hello, Robin. Good to
Hey,
see you
Robin.
here. I hope you're keeping very well, my friend. Um, and Jen is here as well from the other side of the
Jen.
world. It is fabulous to see you here. You're all
Yeah.
awake to
Wow.
catch a live. How great. Giselle is also here, my lovely.
So.
To see you here. One day I hope we can meet up. That'd be lovely.
Mm.
Um, who else? Oh, Red Wing is here. Hello there. Hello there. Hope you're doing very well. And hello to anyone watching, not commenting, or watching on catch up. Oh, Jen says it's a very bittersweet day today. A baby boy's moving out, and I'm so proud and excited for him.
Oh.
Oh, but you're heartbreaking. I bet, my lovely.
Mm.
Oh, the next phase, the growing up phase, isn't it?
Mm.
Wish you all the luck with that, my darling.
Yeah.
But it's nice that you're here. So, and Patrice is here. Hello, my lovely. It's
Hey,
good to see you.
Patrice.
You well. I'm liking all the photos you put up of your dog.
Oh, yes. They're so
Did you see them?
cute. Yes, I've seen
So
them.
cute, so cute. Um, just catching up with other people. Lots of chatting going on. Oh, everyone's giving lots of support for Jen, which is lovely there. Robin says hello. Lynn is here. Hello, Lynn.
Hi,
So
Lynn.
excited for the show. Greetings to everyone in chat. Absolutely. Lovely to see you here. Red Wing says, been under the weather. Oh dear.
Oh,
Sorry to hear that. So
it's
um,
not good.
hope you get better soon. Um, yeah, hi kids. I like that one there. Robin says, I'm on a second honeymoon with a deck I fell out with. Oh, but this time around, the relationship is much richer and
Oh,
more
that's
joyous.
good.
Well, happy anniversary, kind of honeymoon. Well, which deck is it? I want to know, Robin. You're going to make a
Yeah.
video about it. Do hope so. It's great when you revisit a deck. You go,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, people saying got cold for weeks there. Giselle says been double cold for 6 weeks. Still got the cough. So much around. So much around.
There is.
There we go. The first compliment of the evening
Oh,
there. You look
Giselle.
absolutely, I agree with you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Oh, and here's Gerald. Hello, my
Hi,
friend.
Gerald.
Your fabric landscape creating
He's
lurking.
lurking.
I want to send a picture. Um, there we go. Giselle says that's definitely on the cards.
Oh,
I just realised that I didn't do a live last week because I was doing my reading. So I was
that's
going to
right.
say it feels like I've been a long way away for a long time. So yeah, Deanne is also here. Hello, my lovely. Two of
Yeah,
my favourite
hi.
people. I'm listening while
Oh,
driving off to food shop, festive shopping. Oh yes, because it's just been
oh,
Thanksgiving, hasn't it? I
yes,
hope
of
you had a
course.
wonderful Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Deanne, and anyone else in the States.
Anyone else is celebrating? We've had a wonderful, wonderful time. Angie's here. Hello,
Hi,
Ange.
Ange.
Hope I'm not missing anyone. Lots of people. Everyone's saying hello. I think we're there. If I have missed you off, do apologise. I'm sure we'll catch up in a minute. So I'm gonna have a quick slurp of tea, if that's all right, Sandra, before we
Of
start.
course.
It's a bit hot. I might just leave it for a little while.
Yeah.
So, oh look, Patrice is saying you look fabulous as well. Oh, thank
Oh, yes.
you. We only come on here to have compliments, don't we? That's all we come on here for.
Oh, dear.
It's lovely to have compliments. I really appreciate it. Makes us. We don't, as a people, group of people, don't compliment each other enough. So it's nice to hear.
No.
Don't slop. I'll
Don't
try.
slurp.
Don't
No.
slap. I won't slap it. Okay. So firstly, let's talk about Glastonbury, because you have just come back from a few days. Was it 3 weeks ago in
About 3 weeks
Glastonbury?
ago now already. I can't
What?
believe it.
Has it
3
gone that
weeks.
fast?
I know. And why does it go that fast? But when it's coming up to it, it takes forever to get to it. But yes, it was.
But you
so
did have a
lovely.
wonderful time. I know
Yes,
you did a live with
it was
Simon.
amazing. And having 5 nights there unexpectedly and being there for Samhain, even though we didn't go to the Chalice Well, we were planning to, but both of us were like totally worn out, because the night before I hadn't slept at all. Who knows why, I don't know. So we didn't. So we did our own little ritual in front of the fire, which we managed to get. Well, Simon mostly actually managed to get going, and it was nice just in front of the fire with candles and like doing a meditation and everything. And of course, with it being the 5 nights, we weren't like really rushed to do anything. It wasn't like, oh my god, we've got to do this now, we need that, oh, we're going to fit all this in. It wasn't that. It was a bit more relaxed. You could do things a bit slower.
That's important, and particularly with somewhere like Glastonbury, because I mean, I've been to Glastonbury we've been twice. We met at a tarot meetup, and then a little while ago we went together, didn't we?
Yes.
Glastonbury, it can be, oh, I've got to get everything done, but actually, it's quite a slow town, because some of the shops kind of go on Glastonbury time when they open up, don't they?
They do. It is like basically Glastonbury time. They don't open when your normal high street shops open. They kind of tend to do their own thing. They open when they open, and that's it. So yes. So
there's very few shop chains in Glastonbury. They're all independent shops.
They're all independent shops, and I like
turn up when they want to, don't they?
I like it being like that, though. I think it would spoil it if you started putting chain shops, things that you could just go to any town and go to. So I think it's lovely, and like having the independent cafes, not Costa or Starbucks or things like that. It's really nice. And the only thing that has managed to sneak in there is Papa John's Pizza.
But that was handy when we went, I think, wasn't it? We had to grab.
It was handy when Simon and I went to.
There aren't that many eateries. If you ever do go to Glastonbury, it's quite small. There's not a huge choice of restaurants. There's a couple of pubs that do food. There's a Tesco's just outside where you can buy. But it's not got a huge nightlife for things like that, has it?
No, it hasn't. No, I mean, the Georgian Pilgrims, I've been there a few times, and I did this time, and it's fine and it's nice, but you wouldn't want to be doing that every night, because it obviously is a little bit costly. It's okay to do that, say, one night or something, but you wouldn't want to be doing it every night. So we did get takeaway a lot of the time, or there's a co-op in the high street as well that you could get some things from and stuff, but other than that, no. It's a little bit with the eatery side of it.
And what was it like for Samhain? Because I've never been when it's one of the Sabbats. The shops are all decorated?
The shops were all decorated. They were lovely. Some of the shops, like with the autumnal coloured leaves all the way over the windows, and pumpkins and witches and all of that. And it did look really nice the way they've done it. They obviously put quite a lot of effort into their windows in a lot of the shops, which, just really, it gives you that Samhain atmosphere. And it wasn't as busy as I expected it to be for Samhain. Not in the actual high street, but then I think lots and lots of people did go up to the Chalice Well, because one lady in one of the shops, the White Rabbit shop, she said that she went there and it was so packed that she only stayed a couple of minutes and left, because she didn't Like, and I don't think I would have liked that because I'm not great with huge crowds of people. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't go, really. But we did go, I don't know if it was the next day or the day after that, and they still had the well dressed and everything how it was for Samhain. So that was nice to see.
Lovely.
Mm.
Well, we're going to talk about the adventures of the White Springs in a little
We
while,
are.
because
We are.
we've both had the experience, the wonderful experience of the White Springs. But we're going to talk a little bit more about Glastonbury and perhaps our trips and our memories of it in a moment. I'm just going to say hello to a few more people who have come in there. So, Ange says Simon should be known as the fire starter, not the hermit's cake.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
He's very good at it.
And Donna, hello, Donna, says wonderful to see you here. And hello to anyone else that's joining us. Robin's got a question for you, Sandra. Did you manage to get your sea legs back after so much walking?
Yes, my legs have recovered now, Robin. They've recovered.
It is quite hilly, Glastonbury. I mean, you've got the big floor, which is it's surprisingly steep, isn't it? It looks in pictures.
Extremely.
You just go,
and that walk that Simon and I did to see Gog and Magog that ended up being a 7.5 mile walk and taking us 4 hours nearly killed the pair of us.
But was it worth it? Of course it was.
It was lovely to see them, and I'm glad I've seen them, but I don't know if I would do that walk again, or I would maybe see if there's another way. But it probably didn't help that we went the wrong way, so that added to it. Yeah. So, you know.
Hi, Jamie. Hello, anyone else coming in? Good to see you. Work lurking. Just catch up. Giselle says, I can't believe I've never been to the White Spring in all the years I've been going.
Giselle, you need to go. We need to go there, Giselle, and to the White Spring. But the problem with it is it's not open every day. That's the thing, because it's run by volunteers. So it's hit and miss whether you get to it or not. That is the only thing. Because even on their website where it gives you opening times, they don't stick to that.
Yeah. Let's talk about it, because for those people that aren't aware, Glastonbury's got a lot of very special places in a very small area. There's the Chalice Well, which is a garden or series of gardens that are water gardens, I suppose is probably the best term, with this rather special water that's a very metallic-y red kind of rusty colour. And it's all beautifully laid out in this gardens with trees and flowers and lots of grass. But the main Chalice Well, which I don't know how old it is, the Chalice Well, but it has this wonderful door on it. And I know you've got the tattoo of it, haven't you, Sandra?
Yes, I don't think it would show quite on camera, but you can kind of
it's
see.
Beautiful. And you can't drink the water out of the well because it's got a grid over it, but they do dress it with flowers and candles and beautiful things there, and it's very peaceful. And so, am I right in thinking at certain points of the day they have like silent minutes or silent hours there?
They do that at the White Spring. I don't know if they do it at the Chalice Well.
Okay, so it might be, but I know that it's always very, very popular, the Chalice Well. And then you have the White Spring, which is almost across the road from it, isn't it? It's
virtually, yes. Outside but on sort of the same road.
But they are two different water springs, aren't they?
Yes, because the Chalice Well has iron in it and tends to run red. And you'll see like the red colour. And if you taste it, because you can drink just a tiny bit, it's got that metallic taste.
Yeah.
Whereas the White Spring tastes like just like fresh water. I think it's calcium rich, the White Spring, I think.
Yeah.
But they both run from the Tor, but in two separate channels, but they both come down the same way.
So so there's these two different areas, and the White Springs are in a building, aren't they?
Yes, it's in a building. I don't know if it used to be. It used to be something, didn't
I
it,
think
that
it used to be a
building? But I
cafe. It
can't
used to be like
remember.
something to do with the waters, where there's a
It
pump
did,
house or
yes,
something like that.
yes.
I mean, I think it got turned into a cafe at one point, although how they did that, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know how you would do that. I honestly don't know whether that's actually true, Richard, because I
Yeah.
cannot see how you would do that.
Oh, but now it's kind of been restored or changed, let's put it that way, into this space where these waters come flowing out of the wall into these different pools. And I mean, big pools, aren't we? We're talking, you know, two
Yes,
or
big
three
pools.
people
Yeah,
can and
several people
often
can
do
get in
get
it.
into them. Yeah,
Mm,
so it's like big baths or like a almost like a jacuzzi, but obviously it's cold water and it's very
yeah.
cold
But
water.
people still literally are naked and splashing it over themselves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's also very dark in there because it's only lit by
Very
candle.
dark.
Yeah.
It's very dark. There's steps going down, and at first I was a bit worried because I thought it was going to be really slippery and we'll be able to get down. It was really lovely because there's a man there as you go in, obviously, you know, watching everything, and one of the volunteers, and he was so nice. He helped me down the steps, like this old woman trying to get down the steps, only because I was afraid it was slippery, but it actually wasn't like I thought it
No,
was going to be.
it's just
Um,
because of the water in the air, everything's a bit glistening and a bit damp, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and you
It's not
think, oh my God, how
necessarily.
slippery is that? But
Mm,
it actually wasn't. And when you get down in there, just the feeling of it, it's like being in a huge cavern,
yeah,
but it's like a temple
yeah.
in there. And there's like these kind of bench seats in certain areas. They're very low though. And the first one I sat on, I couldn't even get up from. Simon had to help me get up. Dodgy knees, that is.
Touching it didn't heal the knees, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it's lovely. And, you know, you've got there was like a main altar kind of here to the side of us, and like the benches, and then another goddess statue here, and it's like the Philippa Bowers statue. If anyone's seen Simon's or seen Philippa Bowers statues, and she was holding a swan, and oh, it was so lovely. And you can light candles. You have to give like a donation, so they have like a basket and you donate however much you can, and you can take a candle and light. So I did that with her because it was just so lovely.
yeah.
But the main experience for me was around the other side where the Kanunos statue was, and that was just amazing. I mean, just watching it all and the feeling in there, it literally feels magical. It
Mm,
feels magical. It just does feel.
yeah.
You would never. I don't think I would ever feel that anywhere else. And so Simon and I sat on this bench opposite Kanunos, and a guy came over and he lit some sage or incense or something in front of the statue. And so we just sat there looking at it, but the face of his face looked to me, this is going to sound weird and it's really hard to describe, like his face had come alive
Mm,
and like he was smiling at me.
wow.
And there was just this like peace and calmness and like this just gentle look on his face, and that kind of coming, it's giving me goosebumps just thinking
Oh,
of that
yeah.
coming off of him, like flowing out of him to me.
Wonderful.
And I just started crying. It's just tears, just sitting there with tears just dripping down my face. And it just happened just like that, literally like that. And I also, it almost felt like there was some connection to my dad as well when that was happening. But it was like amazing, and I couldn't really talk coming out. And I noticed when I did come out of there, going up the steps, the guy that was sat there, he looked at me and he just nodded and smiled. So
Oh,
I think he probably realised what had
what,
actually happened, because
what a
I'm
wonderful.
sure other people have had experiences in there, but it's just amazing. And I could have literally just sat in there until they closed. I could have just stayed there.
Mm, yeah, I could have, because there is, you can go there for as long as you want to. It depends
I've
on
just
how busy it is. Sometimes it can be very busy on at weekends, but other times it can be very quiet and peaceful. I remember, I don't think the statue of Cernunnos was there when I visited, but they had the Wendy Andrews original artwork. I don't know if you know
mm,
the picture of Cernunnos when he's
yeah,
got.
I do know it, but I don't
Yeah,
remember seeing it there unless I
yeah.
missed it.
So perhaps they've
Um,
changed things up
but
or
they might have
whatever.
changed it around a bit. Um, Giselle's just asking, does the White Springs have a shop? No, it doesn't,
No,
Giselle.
it doesn't.
There isn't a separate shop for the
No.
White Springs.
The whole
No.
of Glastonbury is its shop.
Is the shop, yeah.
Yeah,
I do
totally.
have a book, Giselle, about the Red Spring and the White Spring. I'll have to dig it out and show you, and maybe you'll be able to get a copy or something.
Yeah. It's, I think for me, it's one of the most special places in Glastonbury. The
Oh my
first time
God,
I went, I
yes.
did that. The second time, I didn't have quite that experience because
Mm.
it was very busy in there. There was a lot of naked people jumping in and out of it. And not that I
You were
have
a
a
bit
problem with that.
shocked, weren't you, Richard?
What the problem was, Sandra, is that I went in because there's lots of people splashing about in water. The floors were a little bit more slippery. There was more water being thrown out. And of course, you
Yeah.
have that thing where you've been out in a blazing sunshine to go into a very dark, particularly my glasses are reactions as well. So it takes a good couple of minutes
to get adjusted.
to get adjusted. And I was really worried that I was either going to slip over or be put my hand somewhere.
Can you imagine slip over and grab something
Yeah, well,
unfortunate? You know?
sorry, end up falling into the pool with all these other people. Anyway, it didn't happen. But
No.
the first time I went, I remember it was really, really peaceful. And there was a lady doing a ritual there, and she brought all her stuff in her bag and was setting it all up on the side of the pool there, and just doing her meditating. And it was just, for me, it summed up what I was looking for in Glastonbury.
Yeah, exactly. I
I
mean, I think it. You know, if I had to pick a highlight of the trip, it would be that
and
the White
and the
Spring and that
chances are, if you
experience.
go back again, you'll have a different experience.
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
you wouldn't have the same
yeah,
experience.
yeah.
But yeah, and obviously the annual trip up the tour, which I actually think I did it a bit quicker this time. I think I was a bit, even I was still like having to stop and things. I think I did it a little bit better this time. And I'm sure people that live in Glastonbury can probably just do it like it's nothing. You know, if you did it every day,
Yeah,
you would just get so used to it, it would be nothing.
it's
But that's
interesting.
always amazing to go up there, though, when you
Oh,
get
it's
to the top, the
wonderful.
feeling at the top.
It's probably better to go with somebody. I'd imagine if you went on your own, well, you could take your own time, but having other people to go with, it kind of spurs you on when
It
perhaps
spurs
you
you
might
on. Every
turn
time
out.
I've gone, I've been with somebody. I mean, I was with you and a group of people one night
Yeah,
before the Tarot meetup, and
yeah,
then I've gone up there a couple of times with Simon, and I've gone up there with my brother.
yeah.
So yeah.
Going to catch up with some of the lovely comments that we've got here. Giselle says, yeah, that's to be girly trip. There you go. It's decided. It's in capital letters, so it's definitely
Yeah, it's definite. It's happening.
happening. And she said to Giselle, I've never been on the visits I've done to Glastonbury either. Never been to Chalice either, to be honest. Been up the tour though.
That would be so good, Ange, if you ever get the chance to go again to do the Chalice Well and the White Spring if it's open, because Chalice Well Gardens are so peaceful and lovely.
Yeah.
It's really nice experience, and they do have a shop.
They do have a very nice shop, and they sell very nice bottles to put your water in as well.
Yes, I have one behind me there.
But there's always new things, and as I say, White Springs, try and plan your trip so that it's towards the weekend. Because did you go on a Sunday, Sandra? Did you say, to the White Springs?
No, Saturday.
Saturday. So I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but you'd have to check it. And as you said, it's run by volunteers, so Glastonbury time again. What we're talking about there. And says years ago there used to be a fabulous fish and chip shop at the top of the high street on the right called Tom's Chippy. Sadly, it's not there anymore.
There is a fish and chip shop though in North Lode Street. So if you walked from the Georgian Pilgrims and around the corner and up a little way, there is a fish and chip shop there.
And Jen says, how beautiful. Giselle's got a question, Sandra. I don't recall Dion Fortune mentioning it in her Avalon book, do you?
No, I don't think so. Not in that particular book, but then Dion Fortune has written a couple of books, though. And there's one I've got that I've not read yet that's about Dion Fortune and her life. So, but yes, I don't think she mentioned it.
Right.
Of course, she lived basically right next to the Chalice Well. She lived at Chalice Orchard, which is on the road going up towards the Tor, so Wellhouse Lane. Chalice Orchard to the left, just before you get to the White Spring on the right. She lived.
I've got a question for you, so it's slightly off track. Did Dion Fortune live in Brighton as well?
I'm not sure. I know. I'm certain Doreen Valiente did.
That's who I'm thinking. Yeah, that's who I'm thinking.
Yeah, she's the other well-known sort of witch. Doreen Valiente did.
Yeah. It came to me the other day. I was reading an article and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Brighton's just down the road from me. So there we go. Anne says it's just under 180-mile drive. There you go, South Cheshire. And Giselle says, I love the book recommendation. Definitely would like to get that book, please.
Okay,
and Jen is now Googling these places.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And Giselle says, I don't mind naked swimming, but I bet it's really cold. It's
very freezing. But people were getting in there and not sort of going, oh, this is cold or anything. They just got in like it was nothing.
Yeah. And Anne says, I would love to go in the water, but couldn't do nude, although it would be no doubt too cold. I think somebody was wearing a wetsuit when I went. So I might be wrong. I can't remember, but I know you don't have to be naked. You could just get in with some light clothes, but yeah, it would be cold. Absolutely.
Oh, definitely. Because it's coming straight down like the wall into the pools, as straight from the spring.
So Jen's asking, I'm assuming there's a meaning, purpose, whatever you want to call to the naked swimming.
Well, it's healing, isn't it?
Healing, yeah.
It's
healing
meant to be healing.
Yeah. And freezing, I would imagine.
And freezing, yes.
And Madrich says, never say never. I love swimming without costume. It's wonderful. The freedom. Lovely. And says, I knew of Chalice but never heard of the White Spring. You could easily walk past it and not notice it.
And not realise, yeah.
They do have, we should mention as well, is that if the place is closed, they do have part of the water that comes out, so you can collect it.
Yeah,
and it's not the stuff that the naked people have been bathing in, so it is
no. There's a separate tap and pools out, little pools outside of the White Spring that you can drink from or collect water from. And yeah, it's not the same as the one the people have been in naked.
There we go. It's almost like there's a naked White Spring sister fraternity going on here for some of you. I'm loving it. And Kathy's here. Hello, Kathy. Bit late. I'll watch it later. Always lovely to see you, Sandra. And now that's a great point. Never considered the hygiene component, but then I'm never going to be there, so no need to worry about. Never say never. Hello, Peacock Rainbow. Good to see you here. Hope you're doing very well. And Doreen Valiente's biography is really good.
Yes, I love that book, Giselle. I've read it several times.
Next, you'll be saying they had to I suppose it depends how long you have to stay, how much you have to cleanse, I suppose, doesn't it? What are we doing here today? We're talking about Glastonbury, and in a minute we're going to be talking about preparations for Christmas, Yule, and the winter season there. But at the moment, we're talking about naked swimming, I suppose. Anne says, I've been swimming in the geothermal pools in Iceland in my swimming costume in midwinter, but they are lovely and warm. Yes. There we go. I'd like to do that some point. I had the opportunity and I didn't take it, unfortunately. So. Right, I'm going to have a swig of tea. So I was going to ask you, actually, I was just putting you a little bit on the spot here, Sandra, I'm afraid. So
Oh,
please
no, Richard.
feel like, no. Please don't feel like you have to, because I've never talked to you about this. The Glastonbury Zodiac.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about it?
I think it's interesting. I've watched a program where they show, you know, from above, and you can see the different alignments and stuff, the different zodiac figures.
Yeah.
But I've got a book about it, but I haven't read it yet. But I plan to, because I'm interested in it, and the whole like Catherine Maltwood thing. And she was the person that discovered it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I mean, you could say, oh, it's rubbish, but then but is it? Why are these figures like that? Why is there figures there like that? And you can actually like join them and make the.
I suppose you better explain what it is for people that don't know about the Glastonbury Zodiac. Do you want to do that? You've read more than I have, Sandra.
I don't know that I've read.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
That much. It's big. You can see from the air. I don't know how. I don't even remember how it was actually discovered.
Yeah.
Whether the lady was actually in the air.
Yeah.
Or she'd seen one, I think, originally, and then started looking at the landscape and was able to plot out others. So from the air, you can see like around the tour all these shapes.
So they're kind of like field boundaries, aren't they?
Like yes, and there's all it's all within the landscape.
Yeah.
But like you can make out the lion shape and things like that.
Yeah.
I think the lion shape was the first one she found, but I don't know a huge amount about it, Richard.
No. And it was back in, what was the date she discovered it? Was it 100 years ago?
Oh God, it was a long time ago. I think it was the 1800s or something.
Yeah.
Or
so
early...
again, the fields have all changed, so it's probably difficult.
It's probably more difficult to see it now than it would have been then.
So if you do have a Google of the Glastonbury Zodiac, you'll see some of the pictures of what was recorded of the field, and they make up the shapes of the 12 signs of the zodiac. Some I think are very clear.
And some are not as clear.
Some are like, that's a bit tenuous, but again, it could have all changed. But apparently Glastonbury's not the only places, that quite a few places had this layout of astrology.
It just makes it even more magical. It's like, I love the idea of the tour, how they always say that the tour, it's the land of the Fae underneath the tour, and you know, the wild hunt will come from there, and Gwyn ap Neath, who it's a Welsh word for kind of like Herne the Hunter type of figure, comes like down the tour with his hounds that have red eyes and red ears, white with red ears and eyes. But yeah, I mean, imagine that, the land of the Fae under the tour. I just love that. I know it might just be, you know,
to think of that when you're down under in the White Springs. It feels like you're under the tour.
Yes, it does. It's like you're under the tour, like you're in. So that's what I said. It feels magical in there in the White Spring, because nowhere else does it feel like that.
I'm going to say hello to Maruta, and I'm going to say hello to Sarah, my lovelies. Good to see you here. And Jen never knew anything about this, so we are being educational today, Sandra, talking about Glastonbury.
Yeah, I just don't know an awful amount about the.
No, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I knew you would have a book on it.
Yes, I have.
If you ever want to know about books about Glastonbury, go and see Sandra.
Because I've got like a whole stack of Glastonbury books, and if I see others, I'm adding to it. It's like there was a book that I wanted to get called Grail when I was in Glastonbury, couldn't find it anywhere. So when I got home, I contacted the author, and I managed to get it. He said I paid him. He sent it to me, but he actually said to me, the shop that stocks it is Man, Myth and Magic, and it was the one shop Simon and I didn't go into.
Giselle's just saying, please talk more about Avalon. Please talk more. We could all sit and listen to you talk about it for hours, but we've got a lot of fans here that talk. And I think, Sandra, what it is, we know how much it means to you, and that comes through in your stories and your voice.
Yeah, because, you know, as soon as I get there, the minute I get out of the car, the feeling, it's like, oh, I'm back. And, you know, sometimes, you know, some people will even say this, that it feels like the tour or Glastonbury calls them back. And it does. It literally does. That's what I've felt like it calls you back to come back all the time. There's that draw once you've been there. And like I was saying to Richard off camera, when I get there, the first day, I will feel sick, always. Like, you know, like nausea and all of that. And it happens every single time. Usually by the second day, I'm okay. And I just honestly think it's like an overload of the energies and stuff there.
Yeah. I remember when we went, I kept having very vivid dreams at night. I remember telling you,
yes, you were
a lot
telling
about
me
them every morning. Like, oh, you won't believe I've had this, because I don't tend to remember my dreams at all, but I do remember. Yeah, it was that some very interesting things that happen around there.
Yes, yeah.
Sandra, you're such a dark horse. You'll need to share that book with me tomorrow.
Oh, I'm going to have to get all these.
Yeah, Glastonbury does call you back, definitely.
Oh, it does. It really does. You know, people say, oh, some people might say that's rubbish. Not to me, it's not, because it does feel like that.
Sarah says that's how she feels about the New Orleans.
Yeah, exactly that. It just feels like home, and it's like, you know, if I'm telling you, if I won the lottery, I'd be straight there. Yeah. I'd be living, not necessarily like right in the high street or whatever, but I would be living near to. I'd be living in Glastonbury.
Think of the things you would buy on a daily basis if you won the lottery.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, you probably wouldn't, Richard, because you wouldn't, you know, you might at first, but then you wouldn't. But
exactly. That's what we go for. We go for the shopping part.
We do go for the shopping as well, of course we do, but we go for the spiritual side as well. And imagine living somewhere that feels magical like that the whole time, and getting that like download, if you like, all the time.
Yeah. You've been at certain different times through the year. Is there a certain, does it feel different through the year as the kind of wheel turns?
Yes,
do you know different energies, or perhaps the feel of the town changes?
I think the feel of the town changes from summer. When you go into sort of autumn, I think it just feels different, not in like a bad way or anything, but in the summer it's hot, bright sunshine and all of that, you know, or maybe it is, we are talking England here, so, you know, possibly it is, but I don't know whether it's something to do with sort of October, November time, when I've been twice before around that time, that obviously it's getting darker earlier and stuff, and so there's just this different kind of darker feel, as though I don't really know how to kind of explain it, like, you know, like how you with decks and that, you might use certain decks in the summer that are bright, sunny, and then certain decks are darker and you'll use them for the darker half of the year. It really feels like that in Glastonbury, like it switches from that to the darker.
That's interesting.
That's what I feel like. That's just me personally.
Do you think that's because, I'm just thinking, obviously the tourists tend to come in the summer months, so perhaps more of a kind of part of the vibe, part of the energy of the place is that there's possibly less,
and whether it changes, possibly it definitely feels more almost more dark goddess type of
Right.
energy, a bit kind of Morrigan, Ceridwen, or that type of maybe energy there, and a bit kind of crone energy too.
So interesting. I've been doing lots of reading about crone energy these last couple of days. So interesting you said that. I was going to say crone energy though.
And just
asked a question. What first drew you to Glastonbury, and when did you first go, if you can remember?
I first went, and I don't know how many years ago now, quite a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I first went with my other brother who now lives in Devon. And I went to visit him in Devon, and he took me there, and it was my first time, and I'd always wanted to go. There was something that I always, with Glastonbury, I'd see things about Glastonbury, I'd read things about Glastonbury. I want to go to Glastonbury, I really want to go to Glastonbury. And the first time when my brother took me there, he said, right, you just go around the shops, do whatever you want. He said, me and James, this is his wife, we'll wait for you with the dogs in the park. And I just was like a mad woman. I didn't know where to go first. And I didn't buy loads of things that first time. I bought one statue that I was so thrilled with, and some incense, I think. And I still have that statue right from then. It's like the horned god and a woman together in like an embrace, naked. But yeah. And I bought that, and it was just amazing. I just loved it. So and ever since then, I've just wanted to go back all the time.
It is, I mean, they've got every shop you could possibly want, which is why,
if you are pagan or
exactly
anybody pagan, yes, I mean, obviously there is a Christian element in the town, and there is a Christian bookshop, but most of the shops are pagan witchy type shops. So if you like that type of thing, you would love it. You would love the shops, because you want to go in every single shop.
But there's also, as I said, there's lots of independent shops. So you've got lots of people who do their crafts. I remember there was that Nordic Viking shop, which I've never been into because it's always been closed.
Yeah, Weird Raven.
Sell kind of a lot of that Nordic crafts and wonderful carvings and stuff. So
yes,
quite an eclectic mix of stuff, which is
exactly. And there's Midgard Craft, but he's changed his shop quite a bit now. He still does like the wood burning things, but he's changed it more into a music shop, which personally I think's a bit of a shame, but it's fine. And then of course you have like Sons of Asgard, which I love, that do all of the herbs and candles and all sorts of stuff, and they're like expanding their range all the time. And both of them are so lovely, John and Chris. So
I could talk for hours about this.
I know.
Really good. And I can know that lots of people are loving it. So I'm going to say hello to everyone joining us. Hi there, Candy. Hi to
Candy.
Candy's
hello.
Here. Jackie's here. Maruta is here. Anyone else I've missed? I'm so sorry. I think Donna, hello. I think I said hello to you, Donna. Everyone's wishing happy birthday to Candy.
I hope you have had a lovely time, Candy.
And people talking there, but she says she had a fantastic birthday. Lovely. What I'm going to ask this question because I know you love the place. So probably, is there anything that you think is the downside of Glastonbury, or anything you've seen there that you think I'm not sure about that?
Not for me, not really. I know that there's obviously an element of like drug taking, but when I say drug, a lot of it is cannabis smoking, and sometimes you can smell it and stuff, but it's not like you're going down the street and there's loads of people all smoking it and all, so for me there's not really a downside, but I suppose that, for people that live there, they would probably say there is, because everywhere there's always something, isn't there? There's always some people that are not the best, And probably they get people that get drunk and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
you don't find that bit threatening at all. You don't.
No, I've never felt threatened there, but then I've never walked up and down the high street on my own in the dark.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd feel threatened, but I'd probably be wary, but I'd be like that anywhere.
Sure.
If it was dark.
Sure. The joy of the place is just all encompassing.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, I can't think of anything bad. Is there anything you don't like, Richard, about it?
I find the place a little bit threatening at times.
Do you?
And I've said this a few times, and I'm probably wrong, but I do know some people that have spent some time in Glastonbury. And all I will say is it's a very small town for a lot of people who go there with, let's just say, some issues that they go searching for answers or go there because they think that will help them. And I'm sure it does. But at the same time, I don't think the town has got enough in it to support some of these people as I feel that they should. If they'd been in a bigger town or perhaps a city, there might be a better network of support. That's the only thing I feel. And I've heard people kind of talk about
there are some people obviously with some mental health issues.
Yeah.
But then you can get that in a lot of towns, but they, like you say, people can be drawn there thinking that it might help them.
Yeah.
I can see that. Oh, hi, Simon.
Oh, hi, Simon. Hi there. And Hershey and everyone.
And everyone, yes.
And everyone else is coming in. Sorry, there's so many people here. So good to see everyone here. I hope everyone's doing well. Yeah. We could spend hours talking about Glastonbury, and I'm sure we will, because it is such a wonderful, magical place. But we are going to move on now and talk a little bit about.
Just before we do, Richard, I've just noticed that Giselle said, "Have you read the book The Chalice by Phil Rickman?" Have you read it, Richard?
No, I haven't.
It's so good. I love that book. I've reread it. I don't know how many times, and I got Giselle onto it, and she got hooked.
What's it about?
It's all set in Glastonbury about it's about the town of Glastonbury, the people that live there. One lady is a shopkeeper, and there's a lady that comes back to Glastonbury. She's been away for a while, and she's the Lord of the Manor's daughter, but she's very airy fairy and fey, and she said it's calling her back, and she comes back with some new age travelers, and some different things go on there with witchy things and people casting spells and stuff, and it's just so good. It like puts you there. And when they're talking about one of the ladies, Juanita, about her bookshop, I just see that as Courtyard Books, and it's just amazing. It's like, yeah, and there's a little bit of ghosty stuff in it as well, but not horror where it's scared to death, nothing like that. But it's a really good book, The Chalice.
So it's called The Chalice. Who's the author?
Phil Rickman.
Phil Rickman.
Yeah.
There we go, people. There's Sandra's recommendation for your winter read, if that's what you're looking for. So there we go. Perhaps we should start an online book club about it.
No, yeah.
Giselle says it takes you into Glastonbury. I love it.
It does. It seriously does. You can visualize it all.
Yeah. Sounds wonderful. She says I'm going to definitely try and find it.
Brilliant.
Lovely and witchy things. Yeah. And thank you. Do all your YouTubey things. There we go. Thank you for the recommendation. So we're going to go now. What we're doing in preparation for the winter. Are you in that wintry, dare I say, Christmassy? Perhaps we should use your kind of world yet?
I'm terrible. I'm not like decorated for Yule and anything yet. That's why it looks quite sparse behind me, because it's going to be decorated for Yule, and it hasn't had anything done, so there's not a lot on there at the moment. And I'm actually ahead this year with present buying and things. I've got everybody's and wrapped most of them, so I'm like, oh yes, I've done it. Because of my nieces, obviously I do Christmas as well, because kids and Christmas, you know, so I do both Yule and Christmas. And I've got a nice Yule herb pack this time from Sun's Dad's Guide, with different herbs and things that I can do different things with and make incense and things like that with. So that will be quite nice.
Oh, I'd like to see what you get up to with that.
Yeah, I will have a go with it and maybe put it on video.
Oh yeah, I picked up their Yule spray, because I have to do that when I say spray. You know, because people might not know how to work a spray. Yeah, spray. I have to dig it out because I used a bit of it, so I put it away so I didn't kind of use it. So,
yes, Simon, we already discussed the White Spring.
Oh yeah, sorry, I have to watch it.
Yeah,
it was wonderful. It's worth watching. Candy's just ordered the book, by the way.
Oh my God. Oh, Candy, I hope you like it. You'll have to let me know what you think.
So yes, so you're on the way. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I feel like this last week we've kind of moving out of autumn now.
Yes, I think so. Yes,
yeah, it really feels like, okay, it's time to start.
Yeah, and the trees outside my window are looking very bare now. Just a few yellow leaves left.
Yeah, it's time to think about. I've still got my Halloween wreath up, but it's coming down. I'm going to swap it over, and I started putting away all the pumpkin-y bits and, you know, candles and cloths and things. But we're leaving the actual Christmas decorating till a bit later this year, I think.
Yeah, a little bit later. I'm going to do my altar area behind me, but probably not other things really. Early, and I don't have a Christmas tree or anything like that, because my Siamese cats would wreck it in 5 minutes, and they just
Yeah, they do that, cats. I remember we came home once and Basil was halfway up the tree last, so we have to secure it so that if cats do climb it, it doesn't fall over.
Yeah, so I don't have a tree. I tried to put some up on the ceiling, you know, just to have a few, just to make it a bit kind of nice. But
well, I don't know about you, but I have a lot of fairy lights are up all year round. So
well, I need to get some, because I had some last year, but I need to get some more because it wasn't enough to put on my altar area and maybe across the shelves and things like that. So
Simon says I can't start to think about Yule till at least the first. You got a week, Simon. Okay.
What did he say?
I can't start to think of Yule until at least the first.
Oh right, yeah. Yeah. Some people, you know, don't want to, and that's fine.
Yeah. Lucky Heroine's here, late to the party. It's lovely to see you here. Redwing says it's bitterly cold. It's going to get cold over this weekend. Candy's got a tree up.
Oh, but then you see Candy's got children, and you know,
absolutely,
it's nice for them.
I always used to be a stickler for don't put a tree up till after my father's birthday, which was the 12th of December. So my dad was always celebrating. So we always put our tree up sort of about the 20th. But now I'm like, no, I'm going to put it up early. It brings too much joy to just have it out for a week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And says, I never had a problem with my cats climbing across the tree. Only one cat who liked to chew on the branches, artificial ones.
The trouble is with two of mine being Siamese, they are a bit mad and different to other cats, and it just the thought of it, even it's just not happening.
Jen says they look adorable, causing the mischief. The cats, that's the joy of them.
Yeah. If I have anything, I have to have little mini ones or something somewhere.
Yeah. Frost tonight. Well, I've got the big 10-foot tree to go up, Peter and I will spend a whole day doing that one.
Oh yes, but you have all the fancy things, Richard.
We got the fancy. I know. It turned into a bit of a kind of thing now. The people, all the neighbours, sort of go, "When's your tree going up?" It's like, okay.
I think mine were around then as well, Simon. My parents were about 2 weeks before. Yeah.
So, do you change your decks, or do you have special decks at all for?
So I don't.
I'm going to say Yule. I'm not going to use the Christmas word. We're going to talk Yule.
No, Yule. Okay. So I don't normally have seasonal decks because I'm not keen on having seasonal decks because I just think if you have a Halloween deck, really going well, for me, I would only want to use it Halloween, and then I think, oh well, there's no point. I know you could use it at other times, but so. But then I saw the Yuletide tarot, and so I did get that one when I was in Glastonbury, and I'm using that from now, and I really liked it. So that is this one. That's the box.
Yeah, I'm going to just put this there. I watched your video, and I put a comment about it. So we're going to try and, this is my therapy. We're going to try and grow to love this. Okay.
This is so nice. And the thing with it was, it's because it reminded me of childhood Christmases. So, should I show a few cards?
Do please, Sandra.
You're going to get a bit of glare on it.
Is that the full?
That is the full.
Hmm.
Let me see. No, that's made it worse. I'll try best.
So it's a child by the fireplace.
It is.
Is it the same room?
But then you've got things like the Hanged Man.
That's interesting.
Is it what? Sorry.
Don't the court cards have the same room in them?
Yes, they do. The picture just changes slightly, but it's the same room. I love this death card. This is probably my favourite death card ever because it just screams Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
Oh, it's wonderful, yeah.
Yes, it's like the ghost of Christmas yet to come.
It had to be that.
I just love that. But I mean, look at even things like this. Look how lovely that is.
That's strength. It is. Do you know what?
See, things like this.
I love a lot of the pictures in it, but I don't know if I like them enough. That's the question. Yeah,
so this is when you see the same room, but it just reminds me of childhood Christmases because we used to have open fires and things like that when I was younger, and like this wheel. And
what are the suits? Have they changed them?
Yes, gifts is pentacles, I think. Good cheer is cups.
Right.
God. Canes. I think canes is wands.
Yeah,
I think it's canes. And I think the other one is candles. No, because candles will be wands, so canes will probably be swords. Yeah, candles will be wands. I just have to get used to the changeover of things. When I'm actually using it, it's okay, but then when you suddenly what is that? But I really like
quite modern, the artwork.
Some of it is, and some of it looks quite pagan-y, and some of it looks traditional like this. And then like with the death card, that reminds you of like a Victorian street when you think of Charles Dickens and all of that.
Okay. That's what I think was putting me off. I wasn't quite sure where it was landing, that deck, if it was traditional or...
Yeah, you see, and look, like the mistletoe, so that kind of reminds me of druids.
Yeah.
Because mistletoe is sacred to druids. And
absolutely.
So, and I love this for the High Priestess, the Murray Lud.
Yeah, now that's really interesting choice, isn't it?
So cool. So yeah, it is a lovely deck. So I'm using this one at the moment.
That is Christopher Hughes wrote the book, didn't he?
It's Christopher Hughes, yes, wrote the book. And the book is really big, huge.
So it'll take you all Christmas to read it.
Yeah, really.
Another Sandra recommendation. Well,
That's the book, and of course it's in. Well, saying that, it's not like loads of writing, because you've got one full page, which is the card. So that's the tarot deck I'm using, and the oracle deck I'm using, because it just feels a bit dark half of the year to me, is the Solitary Witch by Lucy Cavendish and illustrated by Lady Victoria. This one's still in order because I've not started using it yet, and I love the back design. Just
that's cool.
It's
is that
so
silver?
Cool.
Is that a silvery?
Yeah, it's like a silver pentacle. So I love this one, the Herb Garden, and of course it's a matte cardstock. And this is it Blue Angel? No, yes, Blue Angel. I love this one. Look, the Beltane Lovers, the Beltane Lover. But there's some really nice cards in this one. Lovely. It is very female centric, and it says her and she on it, which is kind of a shame, because not everybody's female, and you've got like non-binary people, and there's male witches and stuff. So
it feels like perhaps it does close down something. I perhaps wouldn't buy it.
Look at this one, you see, for Yule's night. So Yule, look at that.
Wow.
Yes. So this kind of speaks to me of this time of year, this one, because the images are quite dark and that as well. So, and like this one, the 13th Vespat, I mean, look at that. So this is a really nice one, and I haven't started using it yet, but I will. I love this too. There are other conversations.
It's beautiful,
isn't it? Oh, I just love this.
Is it all night time?
It's all night time like that. Yep. So that's why I think it's perfect for this time of year, for me anyway.
It seems to fit really nicely between the space of Samhain and Yule and that whole wintry vibe, without being specific about those two Sabbats.
I like the company of trees as well. Yeah, and we've got the Maiden, Mother and Crone as well, and that's kind of a little bit brighter. So yeah, I haven't actually done a walkthrough of this one either.
How many cards are there altogether?
Don't know if it's 45. 45 cards, so quite a good amount.
Yeah. The only thing that puts me off I don't know. I think this is the Yuletide one we're still talking about. I don't know whether it's the changing over of the suits. I can't remember. But Candy said something quite interesting about the Yuletide. It has a sad overtone, or is it me? I get that vibe from the Yuletide one, actually. I think that was what I was.
Some of the cards, I suppose, do, but not all of them. And I just really liked it because it just, for me, it reminded me of Christmases as a child. Yeah, like Simon says, on our memories and connections with Christmas. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, but it's like all decks, isn't it? Not all decks are for everyone.
Absolutely, it's not going to appeal to everyone.
We can't all like the same things, which is good, because it'd be boring, wouldn't it? But normally I'm not one for buying seasonal decks, but I did really like that one.
It's nice. It's lovely
and one. Love the Solitary Witch. Yeah, I love it as well, Candy. It's so nice.
Donna says, I really like the majors, but there's a lot of the minors that bother me for some reason about the Yuletide.
Yeah, fair enough. It's fine.
That's why I don't buy the
You'll buy them.
WITCH deck.
Hello,
I
Emil.
don't know
I
which.
know, Simon. Yeah, it stands for
Yeah,
woman in total control of herself. And
yeah,
again, it's not fair to male witches, non-binary, etc. And that's like the solitary witch is her and she. So it's
yeah.
going to put off anybody that isn't female.
That's quite interesting because I've been thinking this week about having a deck that appeals to sort of a Kanunos kind of male energy deck, and there's just nothing kind of out
No,
there that I've come
I
across.
know. I mean, I would love actually to have a Kanunos male energy deck.
Yeah,
Because I don't have at the moment one, I don't think anyway, that's more Kanunos male energy. It would be brilliant to
yeah,
have something like that.
and I do
So you've
think
got
that
both.
there's a missing part of the market there, and I get why perhaps it might not, be a big money. I don't know, but it might be a big money spinner. I don't
Because
know.
people tend to kind of focus on the goddess, and some people
Yeah,
in
yeah,
practice only have a goddess representation. I don't. I've always had the god as well. And in fact, the
yes,
god was the first one that ever came to me and that I knew from a child was always with me was Kanunos. So
yeah.
I'd always had him even before anything to do with any goddess.
It's one of those things, isn't it? It's like,
And normally people have a goddess first.
yeah, I've been thinking about this recently, just going, it just seems to be something that I'm missing. I'd like a deck that's got a bit more where I am right now. Not that,
Yeah.
just a bit more. I don't know. I'm not certainly going to create my own, but
No, it's a shame that somebody doesn't know. Create one.
it's interesting you brought that up, or that was talked about there. So there we go. Candice, I still like
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm missing out on a lot of people's comments. You're making some lovely, lovely thoughts. I'm going to have to watch a walk for the solitary, which looks like I will enjoy it. I hope you do.
I can do one if people would like me to do a solitary witch walkthrough.
So,
I just haven't at the moment, but I can do. Obviously, there are others that have done walkthroughs of it, but I could do.
I'm going to show a couple of my decks that I'm using for this time of year.
What are you
and
using?
again, I'm very much like you. I don't like buying a Yuletide Christmas deck. I feel like it should be used through the winter time, not just for a certain period. I wouldn't want to use a Christmas deck sort of in
Okay,
January.
Simon and Ange, I will do.
But this is a deck that you know very well, Sandra, because this is my favourite deck.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And the reason is I know that
I gifted it to you.
You gifted it to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thank you so much because I absolutely love it. And there's such a lovely wintry vibe that goes on. Even with the summer or the lighter pictures, there's still that wonderful.
But it's good that you love it and you're using it
absolutely
because I wasn't, so it's good.
And I used this last Friday when I went and did the readings at the local hotel. It's interesting how many of the same cards kept coming out. We kept having,
really,
yeah, we kept having. Actually, that one, the authenticity card, was pulled about 3 times.
Wow!
And I did actually allow people to shuffle this deck and pull their own cards, but it was. But I just love the whole.
That's lovely, though, isn't it? That.
Yeah. So that's one that I always have in a wonderful Anne 40 pouch that she made me for it.
Yeah, she makes love that.
She does. And then I just use my Santa's Helpers. That's the only Christmassy version that I own. I don't go in for big style seasonal Christmas decks because, to be honest with you, I'm very busy we're all very busy, but this time of year I don't tend to do lots of readings. So it's nice to have a deck that is Christmassy, but I kind of feel it's a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? Perhaps I don't attach to it because I don't use it that often.
Yeah.
I haven't got quite the attachment that I might have for something like one of the other ones. But I'll quickly just flick through this one there. So it's got...
Simon's asking, do we both have Seasons of the Witch deck Yule? I don't.
No, I don't get on with it. I bought the Halloween one, the Samhain one.
I've got the Samhain one and I've got the Mabon one. That's the only ones I've got, but I'm planning to get the Imbolc one.
I decided I wasn't going to get them just because I didn't get on with it. But there's some beautiful cards in it, but I know what I'm like. If I will start collecting all of them, and I don't feel like I want to do that.
Yeah, I don't have all of them, and I don't have the Yule one.
Yeah. Amanda says, I love the Wendy Andrew Goddess decks. Just beautiful.
But that's a nice deck, that like Winter Weight type.
Yeah, it's just fun. Excuse me, I'm going to sneeze in a minute. It's not... I like the one that they was recently produced that had lots of embossing and that was like nice.
The Spring Weight or something like that, wasn't it?
It
that
was lovely,
nice.
Yeah. And I did and R about buying that one. I'm just going to show you the backs of those because they've got a candy stripe.
Like candy stripe.
But I just like the images and they've done it. But I just thought I don't want to get myself into buying lots of Christmas decks.
No, see, that's...
I just don't have time at Christmas to...
But that spring one they did, that was just like bright and sparkly and had butterflies and things and that on it. That one looked really nice.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, tarot deck would be great.
I couldn't agree more.
With her artwork.
Yeah, love Wendy Andrews Goddess deck. And I hear you, but for now there's too much healing to be done to trust a male god. Does that... Oh, I missed something there. So go back and catch up with that one there. To me, you need both god and goddess to have balanced energy. Yeah. And Sarah's made an interesting point. The Wildwood feels very male to me, but it'd be nice to see more god-centered decks out there. That's the one I tend to go for this time of year as well, Wildwood. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, Candy, it went really well, thank you. It wasn't particularly busy to the place we went to. Having said that, I was busy the whole time, so people kept coming to have readings, and I've raised the money for the Woodland Trust charity. So it was a very lovely evening, and I got to speak to some very lovely people, and I hope to go back again and do that in March or April. I think they're doing another one. But yes, it went really well. Thank you for asking, and really enjoyed it. Okay. Any books you're reading at the moment, Sandra? Having just told us what you got, all the books.
I don't have the book. I don't.
That's okay.
Here with me at the moment. But I watched, when Simon and I were in Glastonbury, we watched a documentary on Netflix called Wild Wild Country, which was about Osho. You know, like the guru type guy. Well, they called him Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh on there. So I thought it was really interesting. So I then discovered that. So I was having a look at see if there was books about him and stuff, and I discovered one about that was written by his personal secretary, Sheila, called "Don't Kill Me." So I'm reading that at the moment. Amongst other things, I'm also rereading The Chalice yet again.
Do you read sort of several books on the go, or are you like? Yeah, I used to just be able to read one book, but now I've got several.
I've got Don't Kill Me, The Chalice on the go, the Grail, because I've got some on Kindle, some in normal book form.
Yeah.
Are you reading anything?
I am. I'm doing this one, and that's the reason I bought this one, because there's been a lot on telly about the 400th anniversary of the Shakespeare First Folio. So there's been lots of Shakespeare. And I bought this when we were in Stratford. I don't know if you remember, Sandra.
Yes.
Along with many things that I bought in there.
That you bought,
and I put it on my bookshelf, and I completely forgot about it. And then
I remember you showing it.
Yeah, and then I thought, I've got a book about things like that. So I went, and it's been really fascinating, and it just talks about the different forms in Shakespeare's plays, about things like ghosts and how the Elizabethans sort of dealt with ghosts, and then it talks about his portrayal of fairies and Oberon and Titania and where all the folklore comes from that. And each time there's a ritual or there's a tarot spread that you can do. And I'm really enjoying reading a tarot book for a long time. It's ages since I've read one, I have to be brutally honest. So it's really nice just having something that's refocused my attention and sort of drawn me back into reading it. And what I have decided is that now winter is officially here. Now tonight, Sandra, we've officially launched winter. You and me by talking about it.
We've launched it.
It's now the time to start doing a bit of reading, getting cozy in the evening, not have to worry about doing so much. I finished my year-long spread that I did for the Druid trees, so I haven't got that to worry about. My wildwood is up to date, so I feel like now I can actually start all those things that I was putting off during the summer, things like the Bardic course and things like that I meant to be doing, and I just haven't had time. So now, from now on, I'm going to decide the winter has started, so I'm going to start to hunker down and actually do the things that I've been meaning to do.
Well, I've got a big pile of books that I have to read and haven't read, and so I've got this stack of books. So I'm trying to like get through them and not keep rereading like the Chalice and things like that, things that I've read before. But you know, sometimes I just want, I need a Glastonbury book, or I'll read like Marco's Pendulum and stuff, which is basically the same author but under a different name. And that's all set in Glastonbury as well, but it's more aimed at sort of teenagers. But I still love them.
What we ought to do, we ought to have a kind of list somewhere that people that wanted to read a bit more have some like recommendations, but I don't know a way of doing that. So perhaps we ought to have I recommend reading this sort of thing on Facebook or Instagram. I don't know.
Yeah. Good
just for people that might be interested in wanting to think about books that we're reading and interested. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so much out there, isn't there? So it'd be lovely to try and keep it somewhere and let people know what we're reading.
Yeah.
Anne says, I am looking forward to the new Mark Ryan and John Matthews Oracle deck due out next year. Yes. Simon says, I struggle to read one book. I can't comprehend reading two. Yes. I have one fiction and one non-fiction on the go, and I can dabble between them. Emily Carding rings a bell, the author of this.
I'm reading.
Emily is the creator of several tarot decks, including the Transparent Tarot, and she's the author of Fairycraft from Llewellyn. That's what she looks like. But very good writer. Very good writer.
Are you getting? Simon's just put that he's getting Boy George's Karma for Christmas. I saw that book and I'm really tempted to get it.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
That's off track, but
no, it's not off track. There's also the book about. It's gone from my mind now. Come back to
so
me.
many.
So many. There's lots of lovely books that come out for Christmas, isn't it? Candy says Stratford is now the current school run every day because you drive past Anne Hathaway's cottage every day. You in the summer find time to stop off and go into the garden. Yeah, Transparent Tarot Oracle. Yeah. And Anne says the program on the BBC about. Did you watch the program? Everyone's talking about it, about the princes in the tower.
What, recently?
Yeah. You know, they were supposed to be murdered in the tower by Richard III. And their skeletons were discovered.
But it was never proved that it was definitely them, was it?
Well, the same woman, Philippa, and I can't remember her surname, who found Richard III in the car park, has done this program now with Judge Rinder to prove through documents that they actually weren't murdered and they lived in different countries and tried several times to come back and have real family. It's worth a watch. if you get a chance. It's worth a watch.
What
And
was it on, Richard? Do you remember what it was on?
it was either, I think, Channel 4, Channel 5, I think it was.
Okay, so I might be able to.
There's a lot of talk
get
on
it in
Facebook
catch up.
about it, so it'd be interesting to there's a recommendation.
Interesting.
But it is very interesting. They're getting Boy George's Karma book.
Yes, I'm tempted to get that. I loved Boy George in the 80s.
Yeah. And says, I'm on the Bardic course, Richie, but I've stalled recently. Health not been good. Yeah, I never really got going, but I'd love to know what you think about it, Ange.
I have all my stuff from the Bardic course that I was going to do years ago, and only just started it and then never carried on. But I don't know if it's still the same thing. Whether
I think it is. I don't think they might have updated a few bits, but I've got the online version because I'm incredibly I like to listen to stuff, and you get to read it, and you can get to download it, and I prefer that than planning.
I've got all the actual paper books and everything.
Yeah. And Simon says his autobiography focused on his spirituality. That's nice. And Anne says, have you read any Barbara Erskine?
Oh, she's really good, Barbara Erskine. I love her books. I've got quite a few of those. Yes.
Lady of Hay is her most
love
favorite.
it. I love what is one of her books called? It's not the Midnight one, I forget, but there's one where a lady inherits a house, like a mansion, and her and her family go to live there, and it's haunted. And this is by Barbara Erskine, and it's so good.
Oh, another recommendation. Another Sandra recommends. Then.
Yes, except I can't remember what it was called.
That's what comes to doing a live on a Friday evening, folks, is that no one can remember anything by the time we get to Friday. Out of your mind. We've read all these wonderful things, but we can't remember what And Giselle says, I love Lucy. I love Lucy.
Oh, yeah, she's very good.
She does a wonderful one about Christmas carols. Look out for that at Christmas, or the history of them. Yeah. And Red Wing's about to start reading The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. I don't know that one. And we got a suggestion coming from Giselle. We should all get together to do a secondary Druid course.
Yes.
Yeah.
All trying to do it for the second time.
For those people that weren't successful first and second time. I just think you have to drink lots of mead and just go for it, and eventually you just come out the other side of Druid.
Mead. Well, see, look, mead is a good drink. Mead would be a good drink to do on a Druid call. I'm having mead for Christmas.
I bought some mead for Christmas as well. So yeah, crack the mead from Yule right the way through to New Year. Mead all the way.
Yeah, mind you, I'm on Slimming World, so.
Oh, are you?
Christmas, I just, that's it. Ghost Tree.
Ghost Tree? Does that ring a bell?
No. I keep thinking of one of hers called Midnight is a Lonely Place, but it's not that book. It is not that. But it is by Barbara Erskine, one of the older ones that she did.
I have to have a look through the book list.
And, they go to live in this mansion, and that she's inherited, and there's like a ghost there. But it's like a really interesting story when they go back in time to find out who they were and stuff. It's really good. Obviously it's fiction, but it's still like really, really good.
I can't wait.
Like a lot of hers.
You have to let me know what it is.
Yeah, I know. I'll have to message you and say, that book, it was
that book.
That book.
Simon's getting his mead on Sunday. And please
get him mine from the Christmas market on Sunday.
Oh, lovely. And yeah, you're totally right. Mead, wine, beer, secure as the Druid.
Well, I already have Bailey's because Tesco's had a special offer the other week on the 1 litre bottle. So I have that, but obviously I haven't touched it because it's Christmas for Christmas. Yule Christmas. And the mead.
Well, exactly. Yeah, get the mead out. Go for a nice long walk in the winter sunshine.
I know this is the thing, because I mean, but most people, you know, even if they're doing Slimming World, they know that you're going to put weight on over Christmas. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. We're enjoying ourselves. That's what it's about.
Right? Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Sandra, my lovely, we've done an hour and a half.
Oh wow.
Very quickly.
Too much talking.
Amanda says, I've yet to try mead. Try it. A lot of shops sell it now, actually.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you can get it really easily in Glastonbury, but if I want it, say if I wanted some now, I have to order from Lime Bay Winery, and they're the ones that supply a lot of the shops in Glastonbury. And I think they're in Devon, and they'll send it to you in the post, and they wrap it really well. I've not had a problem.
If as well you live near an English heritage or National Trust site, the gift shops sell it as well, which are very good quality as well. So I recommend those ones. So there's a lot of love for your top there, Sandra.
Oh, thank you Simon.
I am going to thank you, Sandra, for coming and having a wonderful time.
No problem. It was lovely.
It was lovely, and you know the joy that you have, or we have, for Glastonbury and a lot of the other things. Just hopefully that brightened people's day. And
yes,
I'd love to think we could.
Oh, look, Basil.
He survived. Yeah. Just on cue. I'd love to think next year we could perhaps try and get down there and spend some time down there. That'd be absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it'd be great, wouldn't it? I mean, I'm hoping maybe there'll be a chance to go to Glastonbury. It'll feel funny not going to Glastonbury otherwise next year. It'll be really weird. And
saving up, there's big saving up. Imagine when you do go again, that would be a massive splurge of lovely things.
Yeah. But I'd also love, obviously, to go back to the White Spring.
Yeah. Oh, we have to go. It'd be wonderful to go there.
Oh,
thank you to everyone. Everyone's putting lovely comments in. It's been really lovely spending the time with you all.
Lovely.
And obviously, just talking things through, and people, lot of love and support and wonderful things. So I'm going to just
it's lovely to see everybody in the chat.
It is. Thank you for coming along and being part of today. And I think I'm with Gerald and on the channel on Monday. I just remembered. I think we're talking about, I can't remember, but I'm definitely there on Monday, and I think Betsy Palmer's going to be there as well. I forgot to look that bit up before I came on there. So thank you, everybody. I'm just flicking through the comments. Sandra, you do some more walkthroughs and
yes, I've got more walks to do. I will do the Solitary Witch. I'll probably do that one next, and I've still got others to do. I know I'm like behind, but it's when I'm able to get to do them, because I can only sort of do them at certain times, so it's difficult.
Oh, there he is. Gerald just reminded. It's Tuesday, is it? Thank goodness you said so. I thought it was Monday. Tuesday. Are you a medium? Thank you. I knew that's what it was. Thank you. For the reminder. That's over on Gerald's channel there, Tarot.
Are you a medium?
We will find out. Have to tune in.
Yes, wouldn't that be cool, Ange?
Lots of love for Betsy there, and lots of thank yous to everyone. So, Sandra, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much.
Yes, I hope you have a lovely weekend too. It was lovely to chat.
Take care, everyone.
Yeah, take care. Bye.